Every year, NBA fans question whether a Luka Doncic or Kyrie Irving led team would do well, and I know that even for myself, looking forward to this season, even just a few months ago, I wouldn't have put Dallas Mavericks to start the season at 6-1. Now, sure, they haven't played any major titans of the league yet other than their one loss to Denver, but I think something can be said about the hot start for the Mavericks.
No, I definitely agree. They're looking really good right now, and it definitely is something to point out that they kind of had an easy schedule so far. But I mean, if you got Luka Doncic being Luka Doncic, averaging 31, 10, and 9 on near 50% field goal efficiency and then about 41.3% from three, you're probably going to have a good team regardless, or a pretty good offense at the very least. And even with Kyrie Irving struggling a bit right now, and quote unquote struggling for Kyrie is different for him compared to somebody else. I mean, he's putting up 24, 4, and 8 right now on about 43% from the field and 24% from three. That's not a good look for him per se, but you can definitely tell they're running a vast majority of their offense through Luka now compared to even what they were doing back at the trade deadline last season. And I imagine they're going to find a little bit better of a flow with that going forward, and Kyrie will probably pick it up more as well. And that should only further benefit their offense and really their entire team as well. And that's not to say again that their offense or anything about their team has been bad so far. They're a top 10 ranked offense right now. They're only 19th on defense, but I would say that they definitely look a lot better now compared to how they did last season. I mean, they were pretty bad. They had like little to no rim protection at all. Their wing defense wasn't great, and now they at least look average, and I think they can even be slightly above average eventually. In my opinion, they've got great production from their new role players, with that being especially true for Grant Williams. He's currently averaging a career high in minutes at about 32 per game, points at 15.1 per game, which is nearly double of his previous high, field goal percentage at 55.6%, and 3-point percentage at 54.3% so far. Yeah, and a lot of people thought that his contract might be a bit of an overpay, but right now he's showing that he might even be underpaid. He's doing a lot for them, has been a gigantic part of their starting lineup, and again has been a big part of making them look at least average on defense, which again they did not look last season. And I've been incredibly high on what he's been doing for their team and how much different they look with him on the court. He's been a reliable catch and shoot guy for them, been a reliable defender for them, and they did not have near enough of that last season.
Before we continue, I just wanted to take a few seconds to talk about and invite you to join our NBA Discord server. Our JSM NBA server is full of hundreds of people who love everything NBA. Do you like instant news updates around the league, NBA memes, talking stats, or even live chatting with others during games? The JSM NBA server has got you covered, plus so many more things to do and see. Come check out the JSM NBA server for free. We'd love to see you in there. The link will be in the description below. Now let's get back to the video. No, I agree 100%. That is definitely looking like a solid acquisition by the Mavericks. And, another few interesting things to kind of think about just in terms of, last year to this year. Last year, the Mavericks were 27th in pace, and this year they're sitting about tied for 12th right now. So a major improvement. We all know that, the higher pace leads to quicker shots and oftentimes more layups in transition. They're number 5 in the league in points per game at 120.7, number 1 in the NBA in three-pointers made, and get this, the team average of three-pointers is 39%, so extremely efficient with that. They're the 3rd in the league at true shooting percentage right now at a whopping 60.9%, Philadelphia being number 1 at 61.3, Clippers 2 at 61 flat, so it's really tight and really close at the height of all the NBA, and you can tell, so far they haven't really put up too many crazy scoring quarters. You see sometimes teams putting up 40 points in a quarter. I think they've only done that once or twice, maybe 3 times so far, but it's just a constant flow of offense. They're always putting up that 25 to 33 points per quarter, and even against the Magic Monday night, we saw them win that game against the Magic. They came out hot. The Magic came out super hot, had a big lead on the Mavs, and they just kept scoring, kept chopping wood, carrying water. Eventually the Magic cooled off, and in the third, the Mavs took the lead and just kept consistently scoring. And to me, shooting the well, that effectively and efficiently, talking about their efficiency and their true shooting percentage, it's just something that you may expect to go back and forth in a whole season. But to me, that's a huge reason, a huge help to why they're winning games right now.
Hey man, I love a good Kent Bazemore reference, and that's really what they need to keep doing. Keep chopping wood, carrying water. Everyone on their team needs to keep contributing. It can't become the Luka Doncic or Kyrie Irving show. They need a complete total team output throughout the entire season if they hope to keep up at around a top 3 seed pace, which they are at right now, albeit very early into the season. But I like how you mentioned how they're playing a lot quicker. That's been something that a lot of people have been wanting them to do for quite a long time now. And we've heard Luka say many times that, he's not a very fast guy. He likes to play slower. But then again, it kind of negatively affects a bunch of other guys in their team who are more athletic and would benefit from a up-tempo style of play. And it's not like they're at a top 10 or even top 5 pace right now. I like where they're at about that top 12 to top 15 pace. I think it sets a good balance between when Luka likes to do his isolation and then at the same time pushing the ball here and there as well to create opportunities for teammates, and definitely for Kyrie Irving as well. He likes to play that way. And you mentioned how well they've been shooting the ball. Yes, they're number 1 in 3-point shots made per game at 17 per game, 1.4 more than the team at second. And then they're number 2 in 3-point percentage as well at 39.4%, despite taking the most of them per game at 43.1. That's been very impressive. It's a big testament to how well not only Luka has been shooting the ball, but how well their role players are shooting the ball with Grant Williams, who I talked about, Derrick Jones Jr., Jaden Hardy, a bunch of other guys too. I mean, it's been very impressive the output they've been getting. But even apart from the shooting, one thing we talked about the last time we talked about the Mavericks was their front court. They didn't really have a standout guy for their center going into it that definitely had the starting role and definitely had the main role within their rotation. But right now it's looking like Dereck Lively, even at 19 years old and being a rookie, can fill that role for them. He's kind of been an unsung hero for their front court. He immediately made an impact during his debut, dropping 16 points and 10 rebounds, and is currently averaging 9 and 8 with 1 block and shooting 78% from the field. He's been a perfect lob threat for Luka and has provided a lot of much-needed vertical spacing within their offense. We oftentimes think of floor spacing as only 3-point shooting, but you need a vertical spacer in there too, especially with a pick-and-roll threat like Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. You need a guy who can go up there and catch lobs, and that's definitely true for Dereck Lively. He's already had a number of posters, and he can get up there, being 7'1" with, I imagine, a near 40-inch vertical. He's been doing a lot of that for them. He's really been what they were hoping to get from JaVale McGee, and he adds a completely different dynamic to their offense, apart from what Dwight Powell can offer, who is more of a hard screen setter kind of guy, does the little things, but definitely not an athletic lob threat really anymore, or a guy who is in general near as athletic compared to Dereck Lively. So I really like that addition for them. He's played over 20 minutes per game a number of times already, and he's already become a really big part of their rotation.
Yeah, one more quick thing I'd like to add to Dereck Lively is, he almost is averaging 3 offensive boards a game, 2.93, however you want to say it. And that is kind of an unsung thing here for a team that shoots really well already. Getting another opportunity for an extremely efficient shooting team, that's just a deadly combination. And yeah, I really like Dereck Lively a lot. I think that he's kind of almost I don't want to say the star of the rookie class or anything like that, but definitely the least expected maybe to make a huge splash. Or I think he's really contributing to the team. Obviously they're winning a lot, and like you said, I think that a lot of that is because of his valuable minutes that he provides, and he helps fill the lanes really well and moves really well, and he's usually where he needs to be. And when you play with guys like Kyrie and Luka, they're going to get you the ball when you're in the spot where you need to be to score. So overall, yeah, I really like that where the Mavericks are doing right now. They have a ton of threats on this team that really could go off for 30 on any given night if they wanted to. Defense is looking really good with Grant Williams. Definitely needs to kind of maybe get a little bit better if they want to be contenders at some point, but offensively, they're looking solid.
Agreed, 100%. And that's always the main thing with a Luka Doncic-led team, and especially with a star duo with him and Kyrie Irving taking up well over half of the team's salary cap. You need production from the role players, and they're definitely getting that right now. And if that continues throughout the entire season, I'll be a big believer in the Dallas Mavericks. They're already looking quite a bit better than really anyone expected them to be, and now let's see if they can keep it up.